Welcome. This video demonstrates how to use the Direct Edit tools to manually heal the topology of a part in ANSYS. The goal of this demonstration is to showcase the capabilities of the Direct Edit tools for geometries consisting of either faces or FE shells. Starting off with the case that the part consists of faces. To isolate the component, change the Draw mode to PID. Use the OR Focus button and PID Feature Selection button. Switch back to Entity Draw mode. Navigate to the Geometry module and select the Direct Edit Geometry tool. This tool combines the most used functions in topology healing. While having the tool selected, there is a question mark icon presented at the lower left side of the drawing area. Click on it to display the information about the tool's functionalities, which are briefly described. This information is also available in the options list docked in the right side of the window. Direct Edit tools can recognize the entities below the cursor while hovering the mouse over the model. While having the tool activated, the user can select a hot point, an edge, or a face. The type of entities to be selected can be filtered by the options as shown in the bottom area of the window. They can be all possible entities, points, lines, areas. While hovering over icons and by pressing the Tab key, the user can switch between inserting a hot point or merging faces. As you can see, the underlined functionalities change in the window tool tip respectively. The same behavior can be observed in the options list as well. Different functionalities are available each time based on the highlighted entity. Hover over a face to highlight it and press right mouse button. A window appears with the most frequently used functions. The same actions can be accessed through the ribbon tabs, or from their respective shortcut keys as displayed. Hover over a hot point to highlight it and press right mouse button. A shortcut window appears containing the most frequently used functions. As you can see, the functions available to the shortcut window depend on the highlighted entity. The same behavior is expected when pressing the right mouse button on icons. Change the Faces Draw mode to Macro View. Hover over a macro area and press the right mouse button. As you can see, the context window appears containing the most frequently used functions regarding the mesh manipulation. A very powerful capability of the tool is that we can actually work on the model using their shortcut keys, located right next to each one of their respective function. Hover over a hot point and press the right mouse button. The same tools are available as before with the exception of the brush tool. Hover over a perimeter and press the right mouse button. In this case, several additional actions are available, including perimeter spacing and nodes numbering with its shortcut keys, regarding the increase and decrease of the perimeter's nodes. Switch back to Faces View via the Faces Draw mode. Let's begin by closing the unnecessary gaps in the geometry. Hover the mouse over a single bound until the double cyan sign appears. Then, drag it towards the opposite cons to extend the surface. The tool automatically recognizes the rest of the single bounds and creates a face respecting the geometrical characteristics of the adjacent entities. Another more regulated way to fill a gap is by selecting multiple bounds. Hover over a cons to highlight it and press the key M. As you can see, additional selection tools become visible in the lower area of the window. Activate the Loop tool to select the entities that form a loop. Proceed with selecting icons using only the left mouse button. Then, press the right mouse button and select the Fill function from the context menu that appears. The options list on the right side has been updated to show all available actions for the Fill tool. Activate Apply Tangency to ensure the Fill tool respects the geometric characteristics of the adjacent entities. Activate the preview option to examine the result and keep the rest of the options to default. Click OK to confirm. Let's proceed with other topology modifications. Hovering over a cons which is in very small proximity to its neighbor, yellow arrows appear on the cursor. When these arrows appear, ANSA provides the user the information that the two cons are near to each other and can be pasted with one click. So using the left mouse button we can paste them. Drag a yellow cons to align to adjacent nodes. As you can see, ANSA can easily recognize users' need and perform agile actions using only one tool. By pressing the Control key and selecting a cons, ANSA will use the loop as default selection tool to select the rest of the entities. Now, by pressing the right mouse button we can access the Extrude tool. Use the Up to Target option, and since we have already defined the source entities when selecting the cons, we jump to the definition of the target of the projection. Target entities can be either faces or shells, but since we are currently working on faces we will set it accordingly. Regarding the direction option, we will be using the normal to source option. The searching distance for the projection can also be defined, but we will be using the default option, letting the solver free to reach the selected target. Activate the auto paste option, so that the projected entities will be pasted to the target entities, and the delete enclosed area. Press OK and examine the newly created face. Press right mouse button on any hot point and activate the multiple selection tool. Using a box selection, all the included hot points are highlighted, and by pressing the middle mouse button we delete them. The hot points that are used in the geometry will not be deleted. When selecting a cons close to a hot point, then we can modify the cons by moving the adjacent hot point only. The other one is frozen and colored in blue and will not be moved. By selecting a red cons, and dragging it towards a specific direction, user can modify a face by increasing or decreasing its surface. Hover over a face and press delete from your keyboard to delete the highlighted face. By using the key M again to select multiple entities forming a loop and pressing the right mouse button, user can activate the Extrude tool. From the window that appears, select the Up to Distance action. Define the direction to be tangent to source. By defining the distance of the extrusion and setting the rest of the options to default, we can finally have the overall modification of the selected entities. A powerful functionality of the Direct Edit tools is that without having to switch to other ribbon tabs, user can switch between faces draw modes and instantly access tools regarding mesh manipulation. As shown, by changing the faces draw mode and pressing right mouse button on the selected areas, from the context window, we can access the most frequently used functions regarding mesh handling. By pressing the Q key from the keyboard, we switch to Direct Edit Mesh tool, with which we can perform mesh treatment actions on the model. Of course, the options list and the help window change respectively, providing valuable information regarding the currently active function. Now, working on the mesh flow, we can have a well-defined mesh effortless. Highlight trios that affect the mesh flow and drag them towards the red perimeters. ANSA will automatically reconstruct the mesh respecting the global mesh settings. While having a hot point highlighted and pressing right mouse button, select Create Curves from the context menu. Select a hot point to define the end of the curve. As you can see, there are two more points visible in close proximity to the hot point selected, that can be moved in order to define the tangency of the newly created curve. Now, using the Direct Edit Geometry tool while having the option Merge Faces enabled, by dragging and dropping from one cons to the other, we create a face. The part's geometry is now healed. The same procedure that was followed for the geometry-based model will be followed for the cleanup of the FE model. Let's begin by isolating the FE model by deactivating the face's visibility located in the lower area of the window. The direct edit functionalities are the same whether the tools are activated through the Geometry tab or any other tab. Now, the same tools that were used to defeature the geometry model consisting of faces will be used to defeature the FE-based model. Hover over a single bound to highlight it and drag it to the opposite edge to fill the area. As you can see, ANSYS will automatically create the new FE area respecting the mesh of the adjacent ones and the global settings applied to the whole model. Drag from a hot point towards another to perform a cut and press the Delete key to erase the area. Using the Multiple Selection tool, select the edges and perform a 10 mm extrusion. Using Box Selection, select areas to improve their mesh flow using four-sided, Map Opposite Sides function. Press Q key from keyboard to switch to Direct Edit Mesh tool and manually improve the mesh flow. Press the key B from keyboard to enable the Brush tool in order to locally reconstruct the highlighted mesh. Both geometry-based model and FE-based model has been defeatured using the same tools. Thank you for watching.